How do everybody? Got another story here. This one's probably not going to be covered by many other people. I thought it'd be a bit interesting for people to listen to. It is a bit of an odd one. I've got mixed feelings about it. In some ways, it's comical. In other ways, it's one to get your blood pressure up. And it feels like it belongs in some sort of British gangster film, akin to like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, a sort of surreal situation that you could never imagine actually happening. So anyway, enough of me just gabbering on, and let's get on with the actual story. Jobsworth traffic warden tries to ticket funeral cortege during Wailing Garden City service. Could you imagine that? You're gonna be. You've just lost one of your loved ones. You're getting ready for the service. You're all stood on the pavement outside the funeral parlour. Then traffic warden comes up, starts putting tickets on the cars. You couldn't imagine that actually happening, could you? I mean, personally, I'd knock him out. And I'm not a tolerant person in that regard. I have got a lot of patience, but there's certain things for myself, I just lose all rhyme and reason. I am aware of that. It is a personal fault. Obviously, we all have our faults. But in a situation like that, that traffic warden, from me personally, would be getting sparked out if that happened. So the grieving family was left outraged after a traffic warden tried to issue a funeral cortege with parking tickets during a service. They're just absolutely insane. Mourners emerged from the send-off at Welland Garden City United Reformed Church to find the warden taking pictures of the hearse and two limousines. I'd like to think that the council, even if he did put those through, would write them off, because councils do have the power to do that. It's up to them at the end of the day. It's why police never get ticketed whenever they're on double yellows. Even if a ticket goes on there, the police never actually receive it and never pay it. So the funeral director asked the enforcer to go for a walk around the block to avoid the family of the deceased becoming upset. Well, I think it's probably more to protect him from the families, to be honest with you. But the warden said the cortege was illegally parked and was obstructing the view of pedestrians, so continued to photograph the number plate. That is just absolutely crazy. The funeral cortege was able to leave before a parking ticket was issued. They shouldn't have to. That situation just shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't be. I mean, why they haven't got specialist parking bays there? I'll put the link below. It's got photographs showing it, but it's got those sort of zigzagged white lines that you get coming up to pedestrian crossings, and then double yellows after it. Now you can't park on them, obviously, but why? Why they couldn't just have a white off boxed area and have an actual fitted sign saying for funeral services only? They could actually do that, and that would. So maybe that's something for them to do in the future. Funeral director Justin Burgess said it's very limited where you can park funeral vehicles to get access to the church. This particular church is on the side of the road. That's the only place there is to park. He added, it came out. I mean, why the traffic warden would be going near funeral vehicles? That is just sick. Now that I've actually thought about it, that's actually sick in the head doing that. That's just disgusting, grossly offensive. He added, I came out at the end of the service, I saw a traffic warden there, and he got his little pad out to start ticketing us. And I said, you've got to be joking. Well, I tell you what, I'll be saying stronger words than that. I said, we're only going to be 10 to 15 minutes more. Can you just go for a walk around the block? And by the way, on double yellows, you do have up to 15 minutes, by the way, for loading and unloading purposes. He said, no. I said, have a bit of compassion. This is a funeral. And he started remonstrating with, I mean, my God. Tell you what, this man has got is a much better man than me for holding his temper. Mr. Burgess said the traffic warden called for a colleague to join him and rang a call handler who told him to issue the ticket as they were illegally parked. That is just crazy. You know what? I hope these people get disciplined for this. I really do. Do I hope they lose the jobs? I don't know. I don't know about that. That might be a little bit too much wrathful for this. It's very upsetting to these people, but I don't know. Maybe not lose the jobs, but definitely get a disciplinary. Mr. Burgess added, unfortunately, in the meantime, the next of kin came out and they were really upset. She said, are you seriously going to put a ticket on my mum's hearse? I can't believe you're doing this to us. I mean, this might be something as well, maybe like in 10, 15 years where the family will laugh about it. Oh, do you remember when we buried mum and that ticket warden tried to put a ticket on? But at this moment in time for the family, my goodness, that is horrible. Absolutely horrible. Mr. Burgess, who runs J.J. Burgess and Sons Funeral Directors, said he, had we not stood and argued all that time, we would have had a ticket. But we just argued and argued, by which time we were ready to leave. A spokesman for Welwyn Hatfield Council said the contractor, in brackets warden, requested that a vehicle parked on a pedestrian crossing the zigzag lines obstructing the view of pedestrians and approaching traffic be moved to a safer location. While we do operate a dispensation for funeral vehicles, no vehicle can be given dispensation to park on the zigzags. Well, they absolutely can do. This poses a safety risk to people crossing the road and could result in a serious accident. We'll move the crossing then. You shouldn't put a pedestrian crossing next to a funeral parlour, should you? It's going to interfere with the services. The funeral party was not present when the contractor initially requested the vehicle to be moved, and we want to reiterate that no parking tickets were issued. That's the council trying to save face there, in my opinion, trying to weasel out of it, because it doesn't sound like that they were trying to get the vehicles moved at first. It sounds like they were just trying to ticket them. A page on the Welwyn Hatfield Council website lists parking exemptions and dispensations and says the council has discretion when it comes to funeral vehicles, including the hearse and cortege. Yeah, what I said before, it's not just with funeral vehicles, it's all vehicles. They can, it's the council's own rules when it comes to things like that. So they could just cancel everybody's fines if they wanted to. I'm not saying they should do. I'm not saying they shouldn't do. I'm just saying they could do. The spokesman added, "We are deeply regretful that this situation caused distress to the funeral party, and we've reached out to the family directly. We have also asked the contractors to review their processes and training to ensure that all officers can convey safety implications clearly and with the utmost sympathy." How about just stay away from funerals when you're doing your ticketing? I know I do have a little bit of sympathy for traffic wardens. You know, at the end of the day, they've got a job to do. They might not be the most popular people in the world. It's like the guy who does the speed camera van. Nobody really likes that person doing that job, but it's a job that needs doing. Somebody's got to do it, and they've got bills to pay and all that. And with the ticket wardens, I believe they get commissions as well for tickets that they hand out, so there's a little bit of an incentive there. But even then, I mean, I don't think I could bring myself to do that. Not to a grieving family. That's just, I don't know, just a real lack of moral character on the warden's part, in my opinion. Obviously, I've never met the person. I can only go off this one action, but it does seem like a rather unscrupulous thing to do. It's like stealing from a baby, isn't it? You know. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. If you found that, I don't know, interesting or whatever, I don't even know what to say about that. It's not really a nice story, is it? But it's just surreal. Anyway, if you found that entertaining or whatever, please do like, subscribe, and definitely please put comments below. I love reading your comments, and I do love getting back to people. Thank you. Goodbye.